Coming up on this exciting episode of the Angry Geek Show.
Dingleberry.
Comic books stacked, games on the screen, talking about the heroes and the ones in between. From Gotham to the stars, through the multiverse they go. It's Nerd Life Loud on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. From cosplay queens to legends in town. Grab your popcorn, let your fandom flow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. Superman debates, Boba Fett's jetpack. Marvel versus DC, no holding back. Con floor interviews, hot takes they throw. They'll nerd out with you on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Legends, creators, the best all around. Grab your Funko, your lightsaber glow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. From horror flicks to retro toys, geek girls, geek guys making all the noise. With passion and heart, they're running the game. If you're part of the tribe, you're part of the flame. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Fandom united in every town. Con to con, let the good vibes grow. All hail the kingdom of the Angry Geek Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to Monday night. I am one cool devil, she is one hot angel. Hey, we had a busy weekend this weekend. I know you did. You were hanging out with Kenny Omega. You were hanging out with the cleaner. He was there. You didn't see him. You didn't get to meet him. You didn't get me an autograph. I am so upset. Nice hat, by the way.
Nice hat.
Did we plan this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I. I don't know. Hey, we got comments coming in. We got two cool cats in the back talking about an awesome book we got coming on today. I mean, yes. Oh, my God. What is these comments coming in? Hello, 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 hello. J-Bo McNeil coming in. Hey, brother, what's going on? Donald, what's going on?
Hi, Donald.
And, wow. Next week, we got a killer show coming on. We're going to talk it up. Mango is in the house.
Hi, Mango.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi, Void.
Void is in the house. Hello. Did Void get? Hey, baby. Does he get that?
From who?
From you. Go ahead, do it.
Hey,
Do
baby.
it.
Hey, baby.
No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it a little bit. Hey, baby. You gotta do it like me. Do it like your older
Want
brother.
my vocals down?
Hey, baby. Yeah. Anyway, really quick before we bring our Donald Shumway, first Dingleberry of the night.
Dingleberry.
Dingleberry. Oh, look at Void comes in. Hey, Lewis and beautiful Sophia.
Hi.
Cat butt of the night. Okay,
Cat butt.
really quick before we bring Ryan and Mark in. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
lay it on me. PAX East. Tell me what you got.
Too much to show, but a lot of goodies. I got a couple of rubber ducks, like Harley Quinn rubber duck, some Resident Evil rubber ducks. I got a Grogu plushie for free with a picture. I got a blind box from an anime, keychains, a hoodie, bunch of goodies.
All right. Okay.
And I dingleberried a lot of things too.
Oh.
I dingleberried a police car.
You Dingleberry the police car. Hey, our brother's in the
Hello,
house.
Jar Jar.
Yes, the one and only Jar Jar.
That was
Ron.
loud.
By the power of Grayskull.
There's Jar Jar.
Hi,
Yes.
Challenges.
Yeah, you know, I fell asleep on you guys the other night. I was supposed to be playing with you guys, and I fell asleep. The Angry Geeks were supposed to be streaming, and I fell asleep. Anyway, so you had a good time at PAX East?
I did. I did. Thank you. And you're
All right.
welcome, Challenger. Absolutely. I'll see you at a con. Broke the
Uh,
board. Broke the
yeah, I did not break the board. I just hit the wrong thing. All right. Anyway, so without further ado, Matt Cave Studios got this new book coming out.
Yes.
It is called The Vanishing Point. Okay. Moral dilemmas that define us. That's a tagline that I put into it. We're going to bring in one at a time. We're going to bring in Mark Russell and then Ryan Alexander Tanner. First, Mark Russell. What's going on, my friend? How are you? And then we're going to bring in Ryan Alexander Tanner. We're going to switch them around. We get them nice and confused. Thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. I don't know what Melissa told you, but whatever she said, I promise you, we're completely normal, Sophia and I. Completely normal.
Well, we're up for anything.
All right, Ryan, what's the look on your face, brother? You just look like, what the
Muted.
hell did I get myself into?
Ryan's muted.
Oh, Ryan, you're muted.
No,
Why are you
Ryan, you're
muted?
muted.
You gotta unmute your microphone.
How embarrassing.
There.
I look like I have two kids, is what I look like. I got a baby inside. I'm probably going to get handed the baby in the last 10 minutes. So that'll be fun.
That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. We got cats, dogs and cats living together. Welcome. Well, look at Guy. Welcome, Mark and
Hi,
Ryan.
Guy.
That's
Hey, guys.
fine.
Thank you.
So, hey, whatever. Don't worry about it. Now, let's talk
That's an interesting
about.
microphone. Is that a microphone?
Thank you. You might also notice that Mark and I are actually the same person at different stages of life.
Yeah, I'm like just before death.
I wasn't going to say which is the young and the or pre or post
That's
seeing
probably
traumatic
obvious.
event, perhaps. But yeah.
All right. Well, Ryan, you do look a little like concerned. Like, what the hell have I gotten myself into tonight?
Okay.
I'm still
So,
distracted by that microphone.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's
No,
okay.
Actually, used to belong to
Interesting.
Bing Crosby.
actually, Sophia, we have one of those microphones here in the Geek Lair.
Yes, I'm going to croon to you later. So.
Oh, actually, we're going to be announcing something later on about crooning. It has to do with our Patreon. So if you are a crooner, we could probably use your help. And
Well,
Jar Jar says the mic looks like the Death Star.
does a little bit, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the book. Let's talk about, now we haven't read it. We weren't privy to that. But let's talk a little bit about Vanishing Point. It's kind of, from what I did get to read about it, it's a little bit like Love, Death, and Robots mixed with The Twilight Zone, mixed with a couple other anthology stuff. Am I correct on this, gentlemen?
I would take all of that. Yeah, the way I'd like to define it, at least my part of it, is that it's like if they let me write the Twilight Zone, but it's like an existentialist Twilight Zone. It's more about, it's very twist heavy, but it's about like what it means to be a person, what it means to be like sort of a thinking human being who is being destroyed by technology.
Oh, groovy. Ryan, what's your take on it?
I mean, I've just been referring to it as Mark Russell's Twilight Zone, or Black Mirror if you're a newer person. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's just really interesting to see what he came up with, and then it's interpreted by a few different artists, which is fun. So
yeah, Ryan, the reason why the series came about is because I was such a huge admirer of Ryan's. Ryan did a graphic novel about Muhammad Ali, which is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to read it, go check it out. But I thought he would be a great artist for doing a science fiction story, because he does a great job at sort of capturing sort of human attitudes or human, emotions. And I thought this is generally what's missing from sci-fi anthologies, is like the human element about what it's doing to these people, not just the story and the big twist or, the cosmic issues, but what it means for individual people that are in the stories. And that's what I wanted the series to be about. So I really thought Ryan was the perfect artist to do that.
Okay. Why do we choose a anthology? Why do we choose different stories? Why do we choose a Love, Death, and Robots Twilight Zone type of mode for this book?
Well, a couple reasons. One, I've always just wanted to write one because I loved the Twilight Zone was like my favorite show as a kid, and I'm not that old. I watched it in reruns. I didn't watch it originally, but I loved Twilight Zone, one of my all-time faves. And also, just strategically, I always find one of the obstacles getting people into your series as a comic book is that if they haven't read issue number 1 or issue number 2, then they're probably not going to jump in at issue 3 or 4. Whereas if you write a series where every issue is its own self-contained story, there's no barrier. Anyone can jump in at any time. You could read them in any order you want. So I thought it would just be a much more reader-friendly experience if the issues could be read like that.
I agree with you there, and I also like the fact of how the book was described to us, that the artists change, the artwork change every book as well. So it does give you that feeling of Love, Death, and Robots. It does give you that Tales from the Crypt. It does give you that Twilight Zone feel. So that is definitely a selling point for the book, and it does drive the what's the word I'm looking for? Sophia, what's the word I'm looking for? The people that like that genre to definitely hone in on that book and go after it. So with the marketing there, I mean, that the front cover, can we pull up the front cover there? We used the front cover alone right there. We chose that.
Yeah,
to
that's
make
Christian
thumbnail.
Ward, by the way. Christian Ward's art. Yeah,
It was
beautiful
just-
cover. Christian Ward.
Oh. So, well,
But yeah,
let's
originally, the plan. Oh, go ahead.
No, go, because this is your time. Go.
Oh, I was going to say originally, we wanted Ryan to draw all the issues, but as he mentioned before, he has 2 kids, so it wasn't really possible. But then the fact that he was only had the capacity to draw every other issue kind of opened it up like that. Well, it's like, well, maybe let's bring in some other artists with very different styles to do the other issues. And you're right; it really took on this sort of Love, Death, and Robots sort of feeling based upon the fact that we, out of necessity, had to bring in other artists to sort of spell Ryan.
Okay. Guy comes in. Sophia, you want me to read it, or you want to read it?
I could read it.
All right, go
Guy
ahead.
says, I absolutely love The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, and Alfred Hitchcock. So I should definitely enjoy your book, right?
Yes, I would say this is a non-money back guarantee, but you will enjoy it.
I mean, I think too, like Mark's writing is very in tune with those influences. Like I think it's very truly contemporary kind of take on. That's not a genre. It was although there's been, Twilight Zone's almost its own genre because there's been, like you named, these kind of successors of it. But I think being able to tell the whole story in 20 pages, Mark, which is really hard. So, I think you really nailed it in that regard.
All right. Jar Jar comes in with another comment. Sophia, you got it?
Sure. Jar Jar says, very interesting Black Mirror analogy. What's the basis of one of your favorite stories?
Well, I think my favorite one of the entire series is issue number 2, which Ryan draws. And the entire issue takes place in the context of what appears to be a Jetsons cartoon. I don't want to say too much because there is a twist and I don't want to give it away. But it looks and feels like a Jetsons cartoon that's a little off kilter. There's something not quite right in this Jetsons cartoon. But I think it's my favorite issue of the entire series, and it's number 2.
Nice. I want to say too about that issue, Sidney, the colorist. I'm going to look up Sidney Davidson, because that was the last issue I drew, but it's the first issue that's running. And so I'd worked with Sidney on 2 issues already. And I was like, all right, this is totally different than what we were doing, but I really want to have these like matte painting backgrounds, and the characters will have line art and the backgrounds won't have any line art. I'll pencil it out for you. I'll send you a digital layer, and I need you to like paint it like it's a painting. And he nailed it, man. That was like the coolest art collaboration I've ever done, where it was like we hadn't met each other, we kind of got to know each other over correspondence, but just having a colorist period was kind of new for me, and that was cool and interesting collaboration. And then to really have this very specific view of this thing, and the way Sidney challenged himself and the way he delivered on that was like, really a cool experience.
All right. Question for Mark. Mark, how did you put your A team together for this? I mean, every story has a different artist. How did you choose what artist goes with story?
Well, luckily I had a lot of help because, like I mentioned originally, the plan was for Ryan to do all the issues, and when he was only available to do half of them because of time demands, I turned to my editor, Mike Martz, and he started suggesting artists for the other issues. And he had already read. We had the advantage, like I'd written scripts early, so he'd already read them all. So he began proposing artists based upon the actual stories, like what the story is about. It's like this story is set in outer space, so let's bring in some like really great cosmic art. And he just started sending me portfolios of different artists he thought would be good for that individual story. And so he really, I think, was the sort of the silent weapon of the series. He is the one who really sort of like was putting together the teams on all the other issues that Ryan's not drawing.
All right, cool. Ryan, you said okay. Sophia, you got that, or you want me to do it?
I can read it.
All right.
Gaia asks, how do you balance scientific plausibility with imaginative storytelling?
Oh, good question.
I'm gonna jump in on this one. I'm sure you'll have something to say
I
too,
don't
Mark.
really see them as being at odds. I think. Oh yeah, why don't you take this?
Ooh, sorry, a little lag there. Just like what you said in your very lovely praise of me, which I'm going to keep that sound clip. Just that they're all really based in kind of what's happening internally with these characters, I think, is the thing. So, like, when I got to scripts, it was like, oh, okay, these are the characters. Here's what's up with them. And that was always the basis to me, like, really thinking about what's happening inside this person as this is happening. That's my take on it, making it plausible. Is that there's a human experience happening, even though the experiences are, and some of it's like not very far in the future or not very distant from our experience too. There wasn't anything that was like hard to connect with, I would say.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, for me, I thought they sort of helped each other. I don't feel like they were at odds at all because the scientific plausibility sort of informs the creative questions you have. It's like, the first issue is about a guy who was sent to go mine asteroids in the Jupiter asteroid belt. But because of the distances involved, he's out there for 10 years. So it's like, yeah, this is the only job he's ever going to need to have, mining asteroids. But he's away from his wife. He's away from his kids for 10 years. He will not see his kids grow up. And not only that, but because of the scientific reality of communication, it takes about 30 minutes for communications to get from the Earth to his mining ship in the Jupiter asteroid belt. So you can't really have a conversation back and forth. And so that affects you. And so I feel like in a lot of ways, the scientific reality of what it would be like to be on a mission like that, not even outside the solar system, just about halfway through the solar system, what that would do to you, your life, what that would do to your ability to stay in touch with your loved ones. That was sort of what the story was about.
Yeah, and Sophia, you mined asteroids for 10 years, didn't you? So it's a relatable experience.
Yeah, she did. She travels the universe quite often, but she wears a tutu and a unicorn horn. I mean, if you read the bumper, Sophia is she's very adventurous. I mean, every week we tell about her exploits, in our bumper down here. So if you were to put together a strict A team, Mark, if you had no help, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, and so please feel free to drop names. If you had no help to put together an A team to build this book, obviously we're going to include Ryan. Who would your A team be? If you were going to,
other than Ryan,
go ahead.
I would bring in Mike Allred to draw an issue, both because he's a friend of mine and also just because he's, I think, really great at making sort of cosmic weird imagery come to life, and probably get Jordi Belair on colors, and yeah, to me that would just be a dream team. Although I say that knowing that I'm probably creating marital friction because Mike always uses his wife Laura to do colors. No offense to Laura, it would be cool to see them team up sometime, but they almost always come as a team.
Okay. Ryan, earlier you stated that you hardly ever use colorist. Who is your dream colorist to work with if you were to use a colorist?
I don't know. I mean, I really came from nonfiction, and I've been doing a lot of nonfiction comics I've been in the New York Times and stuff. Like, this is my first genre comic. I read genre comics. I grew up on that stuff, and but I never thought about. I mean, I'm doing a pamphlet about the Kellogg Dam right now that's illustrated, and I'm going to color it myself. And I just do a lot of like environmental justice work. That's like comics to get middle schoolers to engage with, local issues and things like that. So usually I'm my own colorist. So I don't know if I have in my head like an ideal colorist. I can think of other artists I would like to see work on the series, but
go ahead. Maybe.
I would like Frank Quitely on anything ever, forever. Frank Quitely is someone that I'll buy it no matter who wrote it, So even if Mark Russell wrote it, I would buy a Frank Quitely. No, and his sense of scale and motion and the way he interprets.
Well, now I know what it takes to get a sale in this business.
You sell one copy. Yeah. That's what I am.
All right, let's bring
Sidney
up
Davidson. There's no better colorist than Sidney Davidson on this earth, so that's my answer.
All right, so there is the link right there. Go to your local comic shop and ask for Vanishing Point, Mad Cave Studios. That is the actual link to the issues where you can get them online. Usually we save this question for the end of the show, but our fans are rabid. Ryan, you have a baby. The baby is probably going to come out, make an appearance on the show in a couple minutes, as we already were warned. Okay, possibly. Our fans are rabid. They love their crap signed. They love it autographed. If you guys aren't at a show and they want one of these issues autographed by you, Mark, by you, Ryan, by one of the other creators, how can they do that if they can't get to a show? Do you guys have a post office box that they can send it to? Do you have some limited editions off of the Mad Cave site that they can go and get the book signed? Let's get that question out of the way now because I know somebody's going to ask.
Feel free to contact me through my website, markrussellbooks.com, or through my account on Blue Sky, and I'll make it happen.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, Mark and I are both in Portland too, so it'd be pretty easy. We're always trying to find an excuse to meet at the Shake Shack. So sketching on some covers, twist my arm, If it'll get me a Shack burger, I'll sign as many as you want.
All right, so here's another question that I was trying to avoid. Sophia, can you pull up the last comment from Guy and read it?
This one.
Yes.
In which upcoming issues of sci-fi anthology series will Sophia make a cameo appearance?
I think we could probably say that Sophia makes, I think we could pass you off as having made an appearance in the Jetsons issue.
Okay.
The quote-unquote Jetsons issue. Issue number 2. If you look for her, she's there.
It's already done, I thought. How is that possible? It's already done.
Wow.
Magic of time travel.
There are actually some pretty funny Easter egg cameos in my issues. Like I don't want to say who, I mean, not like famous people you'll recognize, but people I know. When I have to have, secondary, tertiary characters, I often will just make it someone I know. So there are some people I know in these comics, but yeah, just met you, Sophia. You were mining in space when I was drawing these issues. So.
All right,
Okay,
so
cool.
speaking of that, Mark, when you come up with a character's name, when you're designing a character, you're writing the character, where do your influences come? Is it from Ryan? You're like, you know what? This guy reminds me of Ryan. I'm going to write Ryan into this. This reminds me of my brother-in-law, John, my partner's second cousin's twice removed sister, Sam. how do you develop a character? Do you develop them on if your pet was human? How do you, as a writer, develop a character?
Well, it kind of depends on what the character is. If the character is like just some everyman that I want everybody to be able to sort of relate to, I try to use as little inspiration as possible. In fact, I usually try to give them a name like Dave or Bob or Cindy or something to make them feel almost like they're in the witness protection program, because I want people to see themselves in that character. But if it's the stories about this character because they're sort of unusual or bizarre, then I know a rich tapestry of weirdos, and yeah, I often go to the well, like based on people I know, people I have known, people I went to school with, and then just amp up their personality by maybe 10%.
Okay. Ryan, when it comes to character development, when you're getting a description of a character, how often do you nail it right away? And how often do you say, I have to go back and change it? After that, Sophia, can you pull up Guy's comment?
Yeah, I feel like it develops kind of over the course of the first few pages, like early sketches I do, and they never quite nail it. And then on the page over the first few pages, I had a really good time too on this. Mark is really willing to like have these conversations, like sit down and like with the Jetsons one, I was like, is the Jetsons is this the 60s about the future? Is this the 60s about the future, or is it now about like when did this Tomorrow Family cartoon come? Just sort of like these conceptual backgrounds. I love those conversations. So that kind of stuff's cool. But yeah, I would say it kind of develops over the first few pages, and then you get kind of locked in, or you start looking at page 2 to like kind of reference how you're drawing characters and things like that, and getting a pretty strong sense of who the character is from the script. I mean, the scripts are very vivid, very, very easy to visualize, I would say. So I felt very informed going in.
Okay. All right, Sophia?
Are the stories in Vanishing Point interconnected, or are they standalone narratives?
They're all completely standalone narratives. In fact, sometimes you can't even conceive of them being in the same universe. So there's no connection. The characters don't show up. They're not even set in the same universe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There is an element. That was my big contribution. Yeah, because this started, I have a podcast where I talk about runs of comic books. It's called The Runs. And Mark was on the first season. And I always ask people at the end, what's your dream run? And he described Vanishing Point. So this kind of got going because later I was like, hey, I would draw one of those. And then, I think Mark was probably the selling point when we were shopping this around. And it's all his deal, but I would say my big contribution was I was like, there should be one recurring element. And I don't think I'll say what it is. It'd be fun to kind of throw that out and have people, but there's something you see in each story, but it's not like you'll miss it if you don't read one, or it's like it's a visual element. But that was a cool piece.
Little hint, it's not a character, but yeah, there is a visual thing that shows up in each and every of the issues.
Ooh, I like that. Like Where's Waldo, kind of.
You can Where's Waldo it if you want. Yeah,
that's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's intriguing. Now that's a sell point in the book where people are going to go out and buy the book just to see what it is and see if they can find it, and that's like a sell point for me right there. Yeah, definitely. Covers. Each book has 2 covers. Do I recall that right? How did we go about choosing the covers for each book? How do we go about choosing A cover to B cover? That is a question that I absolutely love asking the creators. How did you go about, Mark, choosing, okay, this is going to be my cover A, this is going to be my cover B?
Well, luckily for me, I have almost no say in that whatsoever. I punt all of that to my editor, but generally what we like to do is have whoever does the interior art does a cover, and then whoever is like a guest cover artist does like a variant cover. But we like to generally use the guest artist as like the A cover, just because it makes each issue look completely different, which is something we're really going for here, is that each issue is a completely different story. So we want to like the covers to be different thematically and different like in terms of the art style, to give it that sort of Love, Death, and Robots feel. Like these are unique stories happening in their own universe.
All right. Why Mad Cave? Mad Cave has been knocking it out of the park with a lot of different books lately. Did you approach Mad Cave Studios, or did Mad Cave Studios approach you?
I don't remember. I don't remember who approached who on this, but I've worked with Mike Martz for the editor on like for other companies and other projects, and so I think he got in touch with me and said, "Oh, I'm at Mad Cave now. So if you have anything that you think would be right for us, let me know." And that's when I told him. I said, "Well, I've always wanted to do this sci-fi anthology series. This is something that's been, on my not even my back burner, like front burner. It's been on my front burner for like a long time." But the surest way to get like the end of phone call with the publisher is to tell them you're writing a sci-fi anthology series. It's like the kiss of death to most publishers. But Mad Cave is like edgy and they're daring and they're trying things that nobody else is doing. So I think what was a problem for other publishers was actually like a good thing to them.
Oh no, Mad Cave is just absolutely. They're incredible. They're right now. Their catalog is just kicking, and the stuff that they're putting out is just incredible.
And I like
Ryan,
the fact that they're not just one thing; they're trying a lot of different things.
oh yeah, even their kids' books, with paper cuts, is just amazing. Ryan, artist, renowned, absolutely. Are you going to take your stab at writing?
Oh, I would love to actually. I'm kicking some stuff around. I mean, I did this Muhammad Ali biography that I wrote myself. And I've written stuff, and then I'm getting interested in writing like a horror miniseries or something. I've got a couple of pitches I'm working on. It's on my short-term to-do list. And probably it would be wise. I talk particularly with Matt Boers, I talk to about this a lot, who's writing comics now. Just that if you want to make comics, takes so long to draw a comic book, and writing is like a lot more productive. I don't think I've written for an artist before, so it'd be a new experience, but I know how to write comics, that medium and that format. So, but yeah, I got some things they're only on the back burner now. They're not on the front burner yet, but yes.
All right. Sophia?
Okay, Guy asks, do you have plans to expand Vanishing Point into other media such as TV or film?
Ooh. Mark?
There's no plans, but that would be amazing.
Ryan, go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, I don't have any information that Mark doesn't have, but I mean, the first issue came out 5 days ago. We don't have a movie deal yet, Mark. Where's our movie deal?
I know. I feel like we've missed our window
already. It's been 5 days. Oh man, we blew it. All right.
Go ahead, Sophia. Then we're going to take that one break. Go ahead.
What are some emerging trends in sci-fi storytelling that you find exciting?
I
Ryan,
really like how. Oh yeah, Brian, why don't you go first?
Oh man, I want to hear your answer.
Go ahead, Mark. Mark, you opened up Pandora's box. You started talking, brother. You go first.
Me?
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. You're first. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I really like is how they're becoming more expansive and showing the worlds behind the story, like Andor is doing for Star Wars, showing like how people live their daily lives, or showing the stories that are going on behind the stories. And I think this is made possible by streaming, and sort of like the fact that you're going to get like 10 hours of this as opposed to 2 hours of this. But I really like this trend of showing like immersive worlds as opposed to just stories.
All right, Ryan.
I'm really reading a lot of Jonathan Hickman comics right now. That's kind of been a rabbit hole I've gone down, and his ability to kind of have these really vast concepts and also these kind of human stories. I like that a lot. And then, as everything's these big franchises and stuff. I really enjoyed. I haven't watched Andor yet, but Skeleton Crew, like just these suburban kid, like that you can have a bigger kind of arena. Star Wars is almost its own genre, and then you can have these subgenres within it. And yeah, exploring minutia, I like that too. And then yeah, human elements, like exploring. I mean, I'm always about allegorical narrative for genre work. So, and we're hitting this moment where we're in the future now. You can have an AI romantic partner and things like this. You can clone your dog. If your dog dies, you can just clone it. These are real things that are happening. So this sort of question of like, how far removed is it from this experience we're having, or how do we sort of interpret where we're going? That stuff's fascinating to me.
All right. Hey, it's 1:30. We're a little bit late, but it's time for CH Square Collectibles. 121 Jewett City in the Slater Hill Mall. CH Square Collectibles. We're not going to do a Pokemon break because we haven't had any Pokemon cards, but it is time for...
Turn it up!
It's now time for Quiz with Quinzel.
And Quiz with Quinzel is with Sophia.
All right. I'm going to ask a question. You have to answer correctly. Ready?
Yep. Just don't embarrass us.
Okay. Who said this? Who knows that what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Oh my God. Child. Please.
Wait, who are you quizzing?
All three of us. She's quizzing the entire world.
It's the Shadow.
We all know. Of course, it's the Shadow.
Oh,
we
the
all
Shadow.
know that.
It was Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, well, in the movie, yeah, but time and time again, child, you embarrass us.
I didn't know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Chrissy Snow of my life, right there, and every week, you embarrass us with these easiest questions in the world.
Why is it embarrassing? Who complains
Because-
that it's too easy? Who? Who am I dingleberrying?
Yeah, well, let's see. Oh, of course. The Sophia fans come through with all kinds of stuff. Excellent
you.
question, Sophia. Yeah, no, it's not. No, don't. No, you guys, you just baby Sophia all the time, and no, don't baby Sophia. No,
Dingleberry.
Gentlemen, was that an easy question? Mark, don't ignore me. Was that an easy question? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Ryan?
I feel like I
felt like it was an
whole
easy question,
dynamic
but it's not
here.
mold.
I'm here to promote a comic book, and you two got to work this out. Maybe after we leave. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, let's see.
$4.99, Mad Cave Studios, issue number 2, June 18th. Very good reviews so far.
All right, so Ryan, you're not helping me, my friend.
Ryan, your camera's like starting to.
Ryan's getting up. Okay, and a guy says actor Frank Radek said it. Okay, and so Bob Trapp says,
Thank
Sophia,
you, Bob.
I got your back.
Thank you.
Okay, and yes, once again, there you go. This is what our fans do for you guys. Go to your local comic shop and ask for Vanishing Point. So, right there. Mark, what are you reading today?
I am reading Jason Aaron's war comic, The Other Side, and I'm loving it. I'm reading it because I am writing a war comic. I actually just finished writing a war comic myself for Mad Cave, and also just because I ran into him at the Calgary Fan Expo, and he had a copy there, and it just looked amazing, so I picked one up.
Okay. Ryan, who's your dream writer to work with?
This is Mark Russell. If something were to happen to Mark Russell, which God forbid, I mean, I'm a big Grant Morrison guy. That would be very cool. Jason Aaron's great. He's a good one. Jonathan Hickman, I'm feeling really interested in right now. Yeah, I mean, I can think of a lot of those are the top of my head answers.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Ryan, you have like a Clark Kent thing going on right now with the hair and the glasses, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I went to a plaid pantry one time. This was 20 years ago, but the guy at the counter he's on something, but he was like, "Do people ever come up to you say, 'Come and save me'?" He was like, "Superman, man."
What you do?
That's
You
the
took
first
your
time.
glasses off, and I'm like, holy crap, Clark
Yeah.
Kent. Mhm.
Okay, I'll take it.
That's a compliment.
All right, Sophia, a guy comes up with another.
What role does humor or satire play in your stories, if any?
Mark, that would be for you.
Mhm.
Oh, what was the question?
What role
sorry, you're
does
cutting
humor or satire play in your stories, if any?
Mark's doing his taxes
Oh.
while we do this interview.
Multitask.
Yeah, no, sorry, it was just the sound cut out for a second, but it depends on the story. Some stories are the satire's the point. Others are, more serious. And I think it kind of depends on what it is I have to say. It's like when you're having a conversation with friends, sometimes, when you're talking about like the news or something, you crack a joke, and other times, you think I've got to leave the country. Or if you're talking about something horrible that happened to you, like, oh, it turns out I've got cancer, it's probably not going to be satiric or parodic. But if you say, oh, I went in, I thought I had cancer, but it turns out I don't, then maybe you crack a joke. So it kind of depends on what you're writing, what it is you have to say. But I find myself consciously trying not to be satirical, just because I feel like I've done that so much. I feel like I've kind of made a name like that I don't want to use it as a crutch. I only want to use it when I'm really feeling it. And so I guess that's the role. It's like what I'm kind of known for, but it's also not all I want to be known for.
All right, cool. Ryan, do you have anything to say, comment on it?
Yeah, I thought tonally we were really on the same page about this series, and I think it's very funny, but I also think it's not funny like in making jokes, like I think like the Tomorrow Family story, I think it's funny because it's not funny, that it's like the Jetsons and then there's this weird undercurrent the whole time, and there's something funny about that, how weird it is. Or like the Death Watch story, and the guy basically gets these people to kill him, and then he chickens out at the last, and he's like dodging an axe, and he says, "Sorry." Like, I thought that was so funny. Or the one with the killer robot that I drew that's like destroying stuff, and it's in this small town in Texas, and I was like, oh, like this is probably having like a Walmart parking lot, and just like drawing this like tank fighting a robot in a Walmart parking lot was so funny to me, but it's not like jokes. It's almost like playing it straight makes it funny. I don't know. So I think there's a lot of funny moments in it. It's not a humor series at all, but there's like these flourishes that I really liked when I was working on it.
Awesome. Hey, Wednesdays is new comic book day, and make sure when you go to your LCS to pick up your new comics that you ask for Vanishing Point. If they can't, you got to go to our flagship store, which is Alternate Universe LLC. And speaking of Alternate Universe LLC, they're in Milford in New Haven, and they bring us Question of the Week. Hey, once again, Question of the Week is brought to us by Alternate Universe LLC. Hey, guys, just contact Eric. If you don't have an LCS in your hometown and you want to collect comics and you're tired of doing all kinds of stuff and just going elsewhere, contact Eric. Get him through Facebook. He is an admin of the Angry Geeks Facebook page. Message him to say, hey, at Eric, you can get your books through him. If you don't want to go through Mad Cave Studios website, Eric will get you Vanishing Point. He will mail them to you flat, just like Stan Lee used to do in a day. Just like what we talked about over Free Comic Book Day. He will mail them to you extra flat, okay? Ship them right out to you. And maybe he'll even have, the guys come down and see you. Anyway, question of the week. Question number one. Mark, you're going to answer question number one first. Then it's going to go to Ryan, then Sophia, then myself. And chat will be included in this. So question number one. What is your favorite quote? Mark, what is your favorite quote?
Oh wow, that's a really great question. That's really open. This is going to sound hyper pretentious, but it's true. So I don't know what that says about me, but it's we do not ask the meaning of life. Life asks the meaning of us. And that's Viktor Frankl from Man in the Search for Meaning.
Wow, that's friggin' deep. All right, yeah, very deep. Ryan,
I mean,
what's
that's
your favorite quote?
That's a tough question. So I can't definitively say. The one that comes to mind as I'm caught off guard by this question is it came up in this other project I'm working. We're doing a second edition of a teacher's ed comic I drew. And the quote, "A lot of things have changed, a lot of things have not," keeps coming up for me. And I thought that was a Mos Def quote, but it turns out it's like an old saying. I think it's been around a long time.
All right, Sophia, what's
Okay,
your favorite quote?
so it's a quote that came up recently. I was watching Batman and Robin, and it's by Alfred. He says, "There is no defeat in death, Master Bruce. Victory comes in defending what we know is right while we are still alive."
All right, my favorite quote is very long. It's like a paragraph.
No.
But one of my biggest inspirations in life is Sylvester Stallone, is Rocky. I mean, I do idolize Elvis and I do idolize Randy Savage, but Rocky Balboa said, "Ain't nobody gonna hit harder than life." If you know what you're worth, you all know it from the movie Rocky Balboa. That is my favorite quote. It goes on forever. It's when Rocky was talking to his son, and life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. I actually have that on a plaque next to my autographed Stallone picture in my room. It is one of the most powerful quotes of all time. Sophia, chat is coming up with some stuff. All right, you want to bring them up really quick? Then we'll get to question number 2, where Ryan goes first.
Okay, Guy says, "Life is like a camera. Focus on the good times, develop from the negatives, and if things don't work out, take another shot." I love that.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay.
That is good. And Voice says, "Treat other people like you want to be treated." I like that too.
I like that too. And
You know, you mentioned Randy Savage, and now I want to change my favorite quote to "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You guys aren't getting the full Randy Savage stuff tonight. Usually it's the cowboy hats, but tonight Sophia and I wanted to do a little something different to you, guys tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Tower of Power. Go.
Bob says, "You don't hear this anymore, and it's sad. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." That's a good one.
Okay.
That's JFK, right?
Yep.
And Guy says, "The best way to get a friend is to be one. Unless you're a cat, then just ignore everyone." That's another good one.
And last one from Bob is, what's
The
that?
cat strategy seems to work for a lot of people.
He corrected his spelling.
Oh, okay. All right. Next question. Ryan, you're going to go first. No,
boy.
Ryan, you got me some respect right now. More respect, actually. Are you a Randy Savage fan?
I mean, I was a kid in his heyday, so he's in my DNA.
Oh, all right, brother. All right, that's you just became my favorite guest for tonight. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, sorry, Mark. Yeah, I remember when Hulk Hogan left him in the ring, and then he got wailed on, and then he became a bad guy. Their feud, I remember it well. It was a big part of my childhood. So yeah.
Because things are just popping right now.
Yeah, and we don't talk about Hulk Hogan on this show.
Oh, yeah!
No, we don't talk about Hulk Hogan. All right,
I definitely have his CD. The
I
Be
do
a Man.
too. I have
Outro music, please. Yeah.
I have his CD. Now we're gonna get to question 2.
Okay.
I have his CD. Plus, I have it on vinyl.
Oh, I'm coming over to your place.
I have it on vinyl. It's over there on my spinner rack.
Oh, the tribute to Mr. Perfect. That was
a perfect friend. Yes,
my perfect friend.
It's amazing. Next week, the 20th, is going to be.
Mark's like, what's going on?
I know. Mark is like, we're supposed to be talking about comic books. Well, the anniversary of his death is next week on May 20th. And we're gonna save it for next week's show because we're gonna be doing a radio show live from the lair. But and I have to show you something, Ryan. Once we get off the air, I have to show you something special that I have that Sophia almost touched, and I had to yell at her for.
I don't know if I want to know what it is, but what's question number 2?
Okay, question number 2.
Oh.
What is your favorite made-up word? What is your favorite made-up word?
Off the top of my head, again, I feel like you two knew these questions ahead of time, and you get to answer them, and we're just having them.
We don't.
Okay. No. Well, I was also very much grew up with The Simpsons, so they have a lot of good ones. Like cromulent was a good one, or snuh, saying snuh as a way of avoiding so something like that. Some Simpsons made up word from the early Simpsons when it was a great show.
Okay, Mark, what's your favorite made-up word?
I'm going to go back to The Simpsons myself and go with embiggen.
Yeah,
like a noble spirit embiggens us all on the founding statue of the founder, Jedediah Springfield. Embiggens. I love that word. It sounds like it should exist.
Sophia,
choice, Mark.
Sophia, bring up chat.
You don't want my answer?
Yes, I know what your answer is going to be, but go ahead. What's your answer?
What, mine first?
Yes. What's yours?
My favorite made-up word is Denmarkian.
I have no doubt that Denmarkian would be your favorite. No doubt whatsoever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. God love you, little girl. God love you. Guy says dingle hopper.
Dingle hopper.
Dingle hopper. I'm gonna say what? Oh, geez. I'm gonna say video scope. Video scope by another Randy Savage quote. They're looking through the video scope. Yeah, I say that quite often. So definitely is one of my favorite words right there.
Cool.
Video scope. So, gentlemen, we are rounding out the hour. Mark, when the book makes its debut, where are you going to be?
Well, the book's already came out. It came out like a few days ago, well, at least the first issue. But the big sort of, I think, the big sort of release will be when Ryan and I are in San Diego in July at the San Diego Comic-Con, celebrating the release of issue number 2 and telling the world about the joy that is Vanishing Point.
Okay, so you guys are both going to be there.
Yeah, that's when we're going to get our movie deal. We didn't miss our.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have
stand outside Hall H.
Yeah, we'll just stand outside. It'll work out
as it comes out.
All right, so here's the big question for you: how many copies are you going to have in San Diego in July of this book?
I imagine probably a couple hundred, however many Mad Cave brings.
Okay. Now, you're going to have them pre-signed already, or are you going to be signing them as they go?
Nope. We'll sign them live on site.
Oh, it's live on site. Okay.
So you not only get a signed copy, you get a chat to these two chums.
You get to look into our eyes while we sign it.
And hopefully we will hypnotize you.
We'll hypnotize you. You get a free hypnosis with each sign.
What? Keith Russell. Hey, are you guys related, Mark? I was going to ask you that. I knew Keith Russell, or the one and only Jacob Marley. He wants to know what
I don't know. There's a lot of us out there.
Wants to know, what are you guys wearing on your heads?
Hats.
Hats. Yeah, hats.
Here.
Jake. Hats, heads, yes. And Bob Trapp. What does Bob say?
This feel reminds you of the Sergeant Pepper Band.
Oh. All right.
Pepper Band.
All right. That's pretty cool.
Denmark Doodlebug. That's an interesting word.
and very interesting word. All right, let me ask you guys a question. When the book first came, when the book did get released, what was going through both of your minds?
Well, I was just excited. This is like the end of a long sort of dream I had of writing the series, and also just I know what's coming down the pike, so I felt like people will not be disappointed, and that this is just the first. This is just the appetizer, and the main courses are coming, and I really hope people. It teases people enough that they buy or at least look at the following issues.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the Angry Geeks. I want to remind everyone really quick, next Monday night, live here in the Geek Lair, we will be recording with, from 93.9 The River, Nighttime Will and Steve Sanderson. We will be recording a crossover episode of Nerd Wars right here in the lair. We'll be live streaming. So the radio program that Sophia and I are on will be live streaming right here in the Geek Lair. Nighttime Will and the morning show, Steve Sanderson, will be here with us live in the lair. So make sure you tune in. And Steve and I got a score to settle. We're going to be talking a little bit about why I don't like Rogue One and why he did. And we'll be talking about that next week live. So if you're out and about Western Massachusetts, no, we won't be on the radio. We're going to be live streaming. Then that episode will be on the radio after that. So make sure you tune in. Guy says, thank you, Mark and Ryan, for joining us. I really appreciate engaging insightful conversation with you both. Ryan, please tell everyone where they can find you on the socials.
Oh yeah, my name is too long, so I use Oh Yes Very Nice, OHYESVERYNICE for all the I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram. I'm more of a lurker than a poster, but you can get in touch with me if you want those exclusive signed copies, or
Definitely. All right, Mark, please tell everyone where they can find you.
I mentioned my website, markrussellbooks.com, also on Instagram and Blue Sky. And my handle is Manruss, MANRUSS, like a man who is also a walrus.
Manruss.
Sophia, please tell everyone where they can find you and us.
Okay, you can find me at Sophia Cormier on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, and then you can find us on all the same platforms and theangrygeekshow.com.
Hey, once again, I would like to thank our sponsor, CA Square Collectibles, 121 Jewett City in Jewett City. And I would like to thank Alternate Universe LLC, Milford and New Haven, Alternate Reality Entertainment. That Rhode Island Anime Con is coming up. Sophia and I are going to be doing the walk, doing the talk. We're going to be on the stage, moderating panels. Sophia's going to have the first panel, from what I understand. The little bird, she's going to up and fly away. She's going to be, oh my
I'm
God.
going to be elated.
Yes, I'm so happy that she's going to be on the stage. Hopefully she doesn't mess up. I'm going to curse her. No, I'm not. I'm going to be right there in the front row, getting ready to catch the little bird as she flies. We're going to be having so much fun at Rhode Island Anime Con. Just doing the thing, letting our sparkle shine everywhere. Once again, thank Ryan. Thank you, Mark. Buy the book, okay? Vanishing Point. Go to your LLC. There is get that out of there. Oh, yes, there you go. Looking forward to the show on that May 19th.
Yeah.
Go back to Mad Cave Studio. Get the book. If your LLC doesn't have it, tell them you want it. We are the Angry Geeks. Here's our link tree.
Oh, I don't think they can scan that. Oh,
here is Sophia's. Go there. And we will see you guys next week. Guys, hang out for a second.